police in the search for Nancy Guthrie today and the race to identify the masked and armed individual captured on Nancy's doorbell camera. They now have a forensic height camera involved.
January 31st, Saturday night. An 84-year-old woman has dinner with her daughter and son-in-law, gets dropped off at home just before 10 p.m., and the garage door closes behind her. 12 hours later, she is gone. And the only window anyone has to explain what happened, the only window in this entire case, is 41 minutes long. 1:47 in the morning to 2:28 in the morning. Not law enforcement, not the media, not the FBI. Nobody has publicly explained what fills those 41 minutes. Every answer this investigation needs exists somewhere inside that window. Every secret someone is keeping lives inside that window. Today, we go inside it. If you've been following this case, you already know we don't do surface coverage here. Every claim in this video comes from confirmed public sources, FBI statements, police press conferences, now verified reporting. That's the standard. If that's what you're looking for, subscribe now, because this case is not over. You already know the basics, so we are not going back over them. We are building on top of them. Nancy Guthrie, 84 years old, more than 50 years in Tucson. Her son-in-law dropped her off at approximately 9:50 p.m. on January 31st, the last known person to see her. She never appeared for her Sunday morning church live stream. Family checked on her at 11:56 a.m. and called 911 shortly after. Bloodstains on the front porch were confirmed as hers. Back doors found propped open, phone and purse still inside. Sheriff Chris Nanos described her publicly as sharp as a tack. Every family member has been cleared. The FBI is actively investigating. You know all of that. So today, we go deeper than the headlines ever went. Well, at 1:47 a.m., the front doorbell camera is disconnected. Confirmed. Now slow down and think about what the behavior around that moment actually tells you. According to the FBI press briefing, the masked figure first tried light taps to knock the camera loose. That did not work. So they pivoted, using foliage from a potted plant on the porch to cover the lens instead. 2 methods, 2 attempts. No panic between them, no hesitation. That is not someone improvising in the dark. That is someone who had a primary plan, encountered a minor obstacle, and moved immediately to a backup without breaking stride. Calm, deliberate, systematic. Whatever happened inside those 41 minutes, it did not begin with chaos. It began with control. Between 1:47 and 2:12 a.m., the confirmed timeline goes almost completely silent. At 2:12, the motion was detected, but no footage exists because Nancy did not have an active monitoring subscription on that camera. That leaves 25 minutes with nearly nothing in the documented public record. 3 possibilities worth examining seriously. 1. Entry happened before 1:47, meaning the camera was disabled last, not first, as part of covering an exit rather than preparing one. 2. Entry happened immediately after 1:47, and those 25 minutes were spent inside the home. 3. Someone waited outside for a signal, a vehicle, or a second person before moving. Law enforcement has not publicly stated which scenario the physical evidence supports, but the answer to that question describes an entirely different kind of operation, depending on which one is true. Here is the sharpest contradiction sitting inside this entire case. A neighbor's reported internet outages the night Nancy disappeared. A damaged utility box near her home is under active investigation for a possible connection to that outage. An antenna-like object was visible in the masked figure's pocket in the doorbell footage. Taken together, that picture suggests someone who understood surveillance technology well enough to worry about it. And yet, the Google Nest camera's cloud backup worked. The footage was uploaded. America saw the masked figure because that cloud upload was never stopped. Security expert Morgan Wright stated publicly that a persistent Wi-Fi jammer at the front door would have prevented that upload entirely. It did not. Someone understood enough about cameras to tamper with one physically, and missed the one function that mattered most. At 2:28 a.m., Nancy's pacemaker lost its Bluetooth connection to her iPhone. Most coverage notes this and moves on immediately. That is a mistake, because this single data point, examined carefully, carries more investigative weight than almost anything else in the public record. Modern cardiac pacemakers sync continuously with a companion app, logging heart rhythm and rate data in real time. When the pacemaker and the phone move beyond Bluetooth range, approximately 30 feet, that sync breaks. That is what happened at 2:28. It does not confirm she stopped breathing. It confirms the phone, and the device was separated. She was moved. 8 minutes later, a Ring camera 2.5 miles away captured a light-colored SUV. Investigators examined that footage. No vehicle has been publicly identified. 8 minutes, 2.5 miles, all that is worth sitting with. DNA recovered from gloves found miles from Nancy's home did not match any profile in CODIS, the FBI's National Criminal Database containing convicted offender profiles from across the country. The gloves appear consistent with those worn by the masked figure captured on camera. A separate DNA sample recovered from inside her home also returned no match, and did not match Nancy or anyone confirmed to have been in close contact with her. Investigators are now running both profiles through commercial genealogy databases. That technique has successfully identified suspects in cases that sat cold for decades. The Ozark Trail backpack carried by the masked figure is sold exclusively at Walmart but could have been purchased second-hand. Physical evidence exists. DNA exists. Footage exists. No arrest has been made. That distance between evidence and outcome is the question this entire case keeps returning to. 5 specific developments that could break this case open. First, any FBI announcement connecting a Bitcoin wallet address to a real identity. Every blockchain transaction is permanently recorded. Cryptocurrency forensics has unraveled operations far more complex than this one. Second, any update on Nancy's pacemaker signal, whether detected or confirmed, permanently silent. Either announcement shifts the investigation in a significant direction. Third, results from the familial DNA search through commercial genealogy databases. This method has cracked cases that conventional forensics could not touch. Fourth, any arrest, even one that appears minor or unrelated. People facing their own legal consequences talk, and a small arrest can be the first domino. Fifth, any shift in the Guthrie family's public language. They have been precise and measured throughout. If that changes, it will not be accidental. Nancy Guthrie was born January 27, 1942, in Fort Wright, Kentucky. Her husband died at 49 during a mining trip in Mexico. She raised 3 children on her own. She played mahjong on Saturday nights. She watched her church live stream on Sunday mornings. She ordered her own Uber rides. She lived alone by choice, not because she had no options, but because she had spent more than 50 years building a life that was entirely hers. Somewhere, someone knows something. That is not optimism. That is how these cases move. Information does not stay still. People talk. If you have any details from the night of January 31st in the Catalina foothills area of Tucson, contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI or submit anonymously at tips.fbi.gov. The $1 million reward from the Guthrie family remains active. Everything we covered today lives on the surface of this case. The camera, the DNA, the pacemaker, the 41 minutes. But underneath all of it, there is a financial thread that has received almost no public attention. A trail that did not begin on the night of January 31st. It began weeks before Nancy disappeared. And when you follow that money carefully, transaction by transaction, it stops at a transaction that hasn't been reported publicly yet. The next video follows that trail from the beginning, and that can make you question everything you thought you understood about why this happened.